is up, YouTube family? Welcome to week 11 real ass recaps. We are back with another week of craziness, but things are starting to come into the fold just like last week. The cream is rising to the top. So let's jump right into it because there's a lot of crazy shit that's going on, especially with injuries. And speaking of injuries, you had the Bengals playing in Baltimore. The Bengals really needed this game because when you look at their schedule, it's a very, very tenuous road coming up for Cincinnati the rest of the way. But on the road versus Baltimore, that's a tall task. You had to figure Baltimore was going to bounce back from the week that they had before, and they playing at home. But once Joe Burrow got injured, it was a wrap. And the season is pretty much a wrap too. Because like I said, their schedule is just too much to bear with a backup quarterback. Anytime you don't have your quarterback, you're pretty much done. On the other note, with injuries, Ravens, man, they're infamous tight end. I mean, how far do you think they can really go without their Pro Bowl tight end? I mean, he's such a big piece, Mark Andrew. He's such a big piece to what they do on the offensive side. I mean, he's a good blocker, and he's like that Travis Kelce type of dude. You know, he's looks like he could be one of those Hall of Fame type tight ends, you know, Gronkowski type of dude. He's just dependable and a safety net for Lamar Jackson. So now that he has a broken leg, they're saying that he might be able to come back if they have a deep run into the playoffs. But you can pretty much cancel Christmas when it comes to him having a broken leg. I mean, like I said, there is a chance that he could come back and do something miraculous, but it's going to be a tall task to ask Baltimore to go in and make a long run without him. I think they could hold down the fort during the regular season, but once it comes to the playoffs, you really gonna need all your pieces, you know, especially with this tumultuous AFC. You know, like the Jacksonville Jaguars could come in there and get you. The Miami Dolphins could get you. Cleveland could get you. So, you know, it's going to be a tough task for them to lose Mark Andrews like this. When you have a big injury to one of your star components, it's pretty much you can cancel Christmas pretty much. So on to the next one. Steelers at the Browns. The Browns are just really playing really good football right now. Their defense is tremendous. The defense is the reason that they are in all these games. It's almost like it don't matter who's at quarterback. You know, they can put in the backups, and the defense is still holding them down. And I think this backup that they put in, he went like 4 for 4 on that last drive and was able to get them, you know, where they needed to be to get the victory. But you see, the defense only gave up 10 points. So anytime you can keep teams, you know, only putting up 10, 12, 15, even 20 points at the max, you always going to have a chance to be in the game because you could pull out something right at the end. So the Browns, it's crazy, but the Browns have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs. How crazy is that? It's going to be a good Thanksgiving for Cleveland fans, but don't get your hopes up. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy that you're building something on defense, and now you've conquered half of the battle, and you got to get your offense in order. But now that you've lost Deshaun Watson, it's only a matter of time before, you know, Christmas is canceled for y'all too. So Browns fans, you got something to at least look forward to. You got something to be proud of, and to say you could go in week to week and not be that pushover like you've been for seems like forever. But as far as asking for something more, don't get your hopes up. Uh, the Raiders at Dolphins. I mean, this was a no-brainer. I mean, the Raiders are playing with some swag. They're playing with some fire because they got Antonio Pierce leading the ship now, and he's a player's coach. So he's definitely firing up his guys, and they're believing in them. But they just don't have the team to really be able to turn that switch on and just go out there and dominate other teams. They could beat a team here and there, but for the most part, they they're not going to be any contenders against real contenders like the Dolphins, especially on the road. So Miami getting them on the road, I mean, they actually struggle with them a little bit, 20-13. They only beat them by 7, and that's how the Dolphins are playing. They're up and down. They're beating teams, but they don't seem like that juggernaut that they really should be with all their weapons. So you see some chinks in their armor. So you can figure the Dolphins are going to go to the playoffs and they're going to make some noise. But them being a real Super Bowl contender, I just don't see it. They coming up, maybe if Tua can stay healthy, they could get there in the next couple of years. So you got the Bears at the Lions. This was a no-brainer, but it was a close game. The Bears showed up. They tried to put up a fight, but you had to figure Detroit at home was going to pull that out somehow, some way. They are just playing too good right now to be losing at home to a team like the Bears. The Bears, teams would sleep on them, and the Bears would come out and catch you sleeping. But the Lions did what they were supposed to do. It's games like this that show you that the Lions are coming around the bend. Years before, they used to lose games like this, they would lose home games, or they would be, play teams where they're supposed to win and they would find a way to lose. But you see there's something different going on in Detroit. They are serious. I won't say a Super Bowl contender, but they are definitely a team to be reckoned with. Lions fans finally have something to cheer about, so expect them to go to the playoffs, and they could win a couple of rounds, with their defense and their weapons. Goff not making mistakes, they definitely could upset some people and make a little run. Maybe get to the NFC Championship. Maybe, you never know. You got the Titans playing at the Jags. You had to figure Jags were going to start coming into their own a little bit. They're playing at home, and the Titans, they just never have been that team that's putting any fear in anybody. They are pushover right now. They will get a win or two here and there, but they're just a middle of the pack team that is not really doing anything. They look like they need to rebuild some things quickly. It sucks because, Henry is such a great a great running back that you like to see him in the mix, and like to see him trucking people, but you haven't heard nothing from him all year or that whole team. So the Jags are that up and coming team that's going to create some problems for some people. And it looks like they're starting to gain momentum just like last year, right when it's needed the most. If they could finish this year off strong, they're going to be a real problem for people in the playoffs just like last year. Okay, you got the Chargers and the Packers. I mean, once again, the Chargers, they just cannot get right. All these close games they keep losing. They just cannot get over that hump of being a good team. They are a middle of the pack team. They should be a good team. They have all the pieces on defense for them to be a great team. They got the pieces on offense too, but they just cannot get out of their own way. And at this point, it really looks like it's coaching. And all the highlights, all the finger pointing is looking right at the coach. And now he's getting defensive, coming at the media and stuff. So he's starting to feel the pressure. So it's looking like the Chargers are they're done, so they can cancel Christmas. As far as the Packers, they're a middle of the pack team too. They will show up sometimes. They will win some home games. They'll win a game here and there, but can't expect anything from either one of these teams. Cardinals at the Texans. This was a close game. The Texans have been playing lights out. The Texans are really looking good with C.J. Stroud. Stroud is looking like an MVP candidate. They're talking about if he wins the division, he could be the MVP. And he just keeps winning, and it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see a young kid come in and really do his thing. He's living up to his draft picks. A lot of these dudes be busts, so to see him come in the first year and it click for him so fast, it's exciting to watch. And I'm pulling for the kid, and I like this Texans team. I hate Dallas, but I could pull for these Texans. Okay, you got Cowboys at the Panthers. I mean, this was a no-brainer. Panthers just suck. You know what I'm saying? They look like they're headed for that number one draft pick, and they might as well go ahead and get Caleb, and have those two quarterbacks and make their current quarterback, make him the backup. We got the Giants at the Commanders. Oh, my God. The can't get right Commanders. I mean, the talk of the town before this week was, if you lose to the lowly Giants at home again, just jump off a bridge, jump off a cliff. Like, season is over. Fire everybody, get rid of everybody. And even when they were saying that, they didn't really think it was gonna happen. I mean, they thought it would happen, but they're like, there's no way we could lose to the Giants at home, right? The Commanders were 10-point favorites. 10-point favorites. And they lost by 12 to the fucking Giants. Like, Terry McLaurin has got to be like, yo, when can I get the fuck out of here? Like, I'm surprised he even signed with them this past contract, because back then, Danny was still the owner. So I don't even know why Terry McLaurin even signed with that. I mean, you got to commend him that he tried to do the right thing and he tried to stay with Washington. And it looked like it had some bright spots. And then with them getting the new ownership and the new name and new uniforms and stuff, it looked real exciting. This has been one of the biggest disappointments in the whole NFL season. Nobody really expected Washington to do anything because they have a first-year starting quarterback or a young QB in Sam Howell. Nobody expected Sam to do anything, but everybody expected everything, from everybody else because they had so many weapons on offense and defense. And they figured the only spot that was a concern was offensive line and Sam Howell. But it's actually the opposite. Sam Howell has actually been the bright spot. I mean, he did have 3 picks in this one, but overall in the season, he's actually been looking like a starter. He looks like he could be that guy that you could stick with. It's the rest of the team that looks real suspect. And the defense should just, they need to give somebody some money back. They need to give fans some money back, because for them to have that defense, I mean, this is why they play the games, because when you see a roster on paper and it's supposed to be an official and it looks like it's going to be crazy, after you've seen how their defense has played in past years, their defense has been the bright spot. So I don't understand how you have this same defense and you get Chase back and you get all these guys that got experience now and they're playing worse than all the years that Ron Rivera's been there. Somebody explain this to me. So it's either the players just fell off the cliff or don't understand the system, or is it coaching? And it's starting to look like it's coaching. So expect a whole bunch of coaching changes coming in Washington real soon. They just clean house with ownership. They clean house with the name. They got new uniforms. They doing stadium repairs. Now it's time to get some new coaching up in there. And Ron, you're done. It's a wrap, bro. Like, they've given you as much time as anybody could possibly get, and it still ain't working. It's time for Ron to go and retire. And I mean, you got to let Airbnb run the ship, right? But there's talk that he might not even be the guy. How crazy would it look for Airbnb to leave a championship franchise like the Chiefs, where he got it good? He can't get a coaching job to save his life. And then he comes to Washington with intentions of being the head coach. And if they don't make him the head coach still, and he got to go to another team, now he's like a gypsy, that's going to look real bad on his resume. It's going to be real interesting to see what they're going to do. But I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to Airbnb, right? They got to, right? But with Washington, you never know. They just can't get right. So you got the Buccaneers at the 49ers. This was a no-brainer. Brock Purdy is coming back. Brock Purdy is like, yo, don't let those couple of losses fool you. I'm still that dude. I'm not that system quarterback that y'all think I am. This dude threw for over 300 yards, like 3 touchdowns. This dude is looking real good out there, and they got crazy weapons. Everybody's talking about Philly. But watch out for these 49ers. If I had my money, I would put my money on 49ers to redeem that loss that they took to Philly in the playoffs last year. It's going to be real interesting, but it's looking like that's going to be the NFC Championship. You got the Jets at the Bills. I mean, we ain't even got to talk about this game, right? They finally bench Zach Wilson. And, I mean, Buffalo, of course, they took that that easy win. But we want to see what Buffalo's really made of with next week them playing Philly. And Philly just beat the Chiefs on the road, even though they should have lost. I mean, once again, the Chiefs drops. We're going to get into that. Okay, so you got Seahawks at the Rams. Geno was out for a bit of time in this game. That hurt them. The Rams came out. They won a close one at home, but Cooper Kupp hurt his ankle. So don't expect anything else from the Rams for the rest of the year. They'll catch a couple of teams. Seahawks, same thing. They're on the up and up on something. They got some good defense, and they got some offensive weapons, of course. But it's only so far that Geno's going to be able to take you. They'll make the playoffs, and you'll see them out of there after the first round. Vikings at the Broncos. This was a crazy game. Vikings had the game. They had every opportunity to take this game. I mean, they can pretty much cancel Christmas anyway, because now that Kirk Cousins is hurt, it's only so far you're going to go anyway. But it's just amazing how good they've been playing without Kurt and Justin Jefferson. It shows that they really got some good pieces. It just it sucks that they're not going to be able to maximize that this year without their 2 main pieces. But if they could keep everything intact and come into next year with this same squad, this team right now is just getting experience. So watch out for the Vikings to keep doing their thing and just building solidarity. This game really hurt them. If they had won this game, it would have really maximized a lot of their confidence and their potential. But the Vikings are still looking good. I look out for them next year. They could be a real contender next year. Things could really come together for them next year. Broncos, on the other hand, have flipped the script. They have proved me wrong. I was a naysayer about the Broncos and Russell Wilson since day one. But Sean Payton has really turned this ship around. They were really struggling in the beginning of the year, and something has switched in Denver. So you you can only give them credit for how they switch things up, and they're starting to win these games. I think they won 3 or 4 straight now. I don't expect them to do anything in the playoffs. I mean, they could still make the playoffs and give some teams some problems, but it's just cool to see them right the ship. I'm not a Broncos fan or anything, but when everybody is writing you off and you're able to turn it around and come back and prove a lot of people wrong and go on these winning streaks and save your season, if you will, it's entertaining. That's what we all here for. We're here for the entertainment of it all. So it's a cool little story they got going on, but it's only so far they really gonna be able to go, especially with Russell just being a game managing quarterback. If he's not that superstar QB, it's only so far he could take him. Now, this Eagle and Chiefs game. I mean, what can you say? The Chiefs ruined their, the Chiefs did it to themselves once again. The Chiefs are their own worst enemy. They can whip anybody. Here you got the Eagles who are playing top-notch football, lights-out football, and the Chiefs are beating them 17-7 going into the second half. And then what happens? The same demons that they've been having before. Drop passes and them not being able to score in the second half. And even with that, they still had a chance to win the game. That's what's so crazy about the Chiefs, is they can have all these deficiencies, all these chinks in their armor, and they'll still beat you. They'll still beat you. You can say whatever you want about Philly. You can say whatever you want about the Chiefs. And at the end of the day, the Chiefs still should have won this game. As many drop passes as they had 2 turnovers in the red zone. Kelsey had a fumble in the red zone, and Mahomes threw an interception in the end zone. So how many points was that? That's at least 6 points right there that they should have had. And they lost by 4. So they should have won the game just off of that right there. But even excluding that, with 2 turnovers in the red zone, all those drop passes, they still had a chance to win this game in the end. And Watson dropped 2 crucial. He dropped a crucial first down, the drive before the last drive. Then he dropped a crucial first down on a 4th down to end the game. And then Scanlon dropped the go-ahead touchdown, the game-winning touchdown on the 2 where he would have went right into the end zone. He drops it. Hits his face mask and just flat out drops it. And it looks like this is going to be their Achilles heel for the rest, for the whole season, because they started out the season like this, and that was coming back to bite them again. And they're going to right the ship again for the next few weeks, and then it's probably going to bite them in the ass in the playoffs, in the NFC Championship, or in the Super Bowl. Unless they fix it. I mean, they definitely have a chance to fix it, and Andy Reid can definitely fix these dudes. But if I tell you this, if they do fix it, they're gonna be a problem. Nobody will stop them if their receivers catch the fucking ball, and that's the end of the week. We out.